Okay, this video is called, Is Pastor Pawlowski a Canary? So this is Pastor Pawlowski here. This is his family. This is his son. This is his wife. And basically, this guy is from Poland. He lived in communist Poland. Then he moved to Canada. He became a Protestant pastor. Most Polish people are Roman Catholics. But, I mean, I can understand why a guy would become Protestant because it allows him to get married and have a family. I actually think they ought to allow Catholic priests to be married. Okay, he got in trouble because he gave a sermon to the truckers during the truckers' convoy protesting that was going on about a year ago or so. And he was arrested for that, just for giving a sermon. He was also feeding the homeless. He got in trouble for that. He kept his church open on Christmas Eve when he was told he was not supposed to. He got in trouble for that. He didn't wear a mask one time, when he was supposed to. He got in trouble for that. Currently, he's under house arrest. They're talking about sentencing him to jail for 10 years. And even there's some who are pushing to have him kept long-term in solitary confinement. I'm saying, do you understand how ridiculous this is? And I refer to him as potentially being what you would call a canary in the coal mine, meaning that the coal miners would keep a canary there, and if the canary died, that knew that oxygen was running out, and they better get moving fast. And so what I'm trying to say is, notice that a pastor, he's like the equivalent of a priest in Protestantism, is getting in big trouble for just doing normal stuff. For having a mass, for giving a sermon, feeding the homeless. I mean, this is minor stuff. This is stuff that you would expect a priest to do. Okay? And they're making him into a big criminal. They want to lock him up potentially for as long as 10 years, potentially in solitary confinement. It's ridiculous, okay? Meanwhile, notice that it was perfectly acceptable to burn down all these Hawaiian towns and kill, upwards of 400 Hawaiian people. Oh, that's no big deal. No, it happens, okay? But it's not okay for a pastor to preach Christianity. Notice that it's okay to tip over trains in Ohio and many other towns, pollute the rivers, and then abandon the population in those areas. That's okay. Okay? It was okay to abandon the Hawaiian people. So what if they die, right? They're just a bunch of talking primates according to atheistic Darwinism, the religion of communism. And then, now look at our public schools. They drug children, this attention deficit BS, that they sort of totally exaggerate and largely make up. They drug these children with drugs that they know cause brain damage. They castrate the boys. They encourage children to be castrated and sterilized. This is what's happening in the public schools now, okay? That's considered appropriate way to run a public school, is to castrate and sterilize the children. It's insane. This is something out of like, Hansel and Gretel fairy tale, an evil, wicked. Notice that it's okay for Antifa to burn down building after building after building. So what? Okay? As long as it promotes communism, it's okay. All right? Notice that it's okay for communists like this famous individual here to break every rule in the book. He can do it. But, some pastor tries to preach Christianity, do things that Christians do, have a mass, feed the homeless, have a mass on Christmas Eve, and he didn't wear his mask when he was supposed to. Okay, so maybe they told him he's got to wear his mask. He should put his mask on. Okay, but that's a minor thing compared to all this other stuff, don't you think? Notice how almost all the Western Christian countries are being destroyed on purpose by the communists, okay? And it's the same thing in every one of them. They open up the border. They fill the place with immigrants who hate the place, primarily men of military age. They disarm the citizenry, okay? They try to feminize them with chemicals in the water, the food, the personal care products. Okay, they try to, send them to public schools and, make them atheists because that will facilitate, destroying them. This is sad, but this is what's happening all over the world. And they want to get rid of all the Christians. Okay, first the white men because they're the only potential thing that could prevent communism controlling the entire world. And once they're out of the way, all the rest of you might think you got a good deal for a little while, but guess what? You will be slaves. The plan is to have you as slaves or have you not at all. I mean, they even describe, people, instead of calling them humans created in the image of God, the communists will describe people as just, persons who are wasting the resources of the world. They don't want all these excess people. They think all they need is a couple slaves to clean the toilets, and they really don't need all these people. Okay, so It's important to understand that. You know, the average person thinks that, oh, slavery's gone. That was something from the 1800s. You don't understand. Slavery is the normal way the world is. It has been around. My ancestors were slaves. My Irish ancestors were slaves to the British. My Puerto Rican ancestors were brutalized by the United States. The United States, when people said they wanted Puerto Rico to be independent, they would just shoot them in the streets, okay? This is how it is, okay? So I just want that point to come through. This is where things are in the modern world. All the communists can do all these terrible things, and it's completely okay, no big deal. Business as usual. But some Christian pastor tries to give a mass, and he knows what it's like. He saw what communism did in Poland, and I can tell you, I know a lot of people who lived under communism in Poland. I have spoken to them. They have talked about Christians being put into cattle cars. Christians were fired from their jobs. Christians were sent to concentration camps. Christians were not allowed to be promoted if they weren't fired or executed, okay? It's bad, okay? Stalin killed 65 million Christians, all right? He burned down 48,000 churches. Do not misunderstand this. The same type of behavior occurred in the Spanish Civil War that the communists did to the Christians, and it occurs anywhere where there's communism. In China, they don't allow Christianity because they know that Christianity says all men are equal before God, and therefore it pushes towards freedom, okay? And they don't want that. They want slavery. And with atheistic Darwinism, whoever's got the power can do whatever they want. And that's what a ruler wants. When there's no religious God, then the ruler becomes the equivalent of God. So anyways, you know, you could be nice, you know, you could, you know, at least look this guy up. And, you know, this is his poor family. You know, he's trying to save his father, she's trying to save her husband. And I can tell you, when Christianity goes, the whole world's going to go. And communism is the big move. And you got all these people who really should know better. You know, everybody says, oh, if I was back in the 1930s, I would have done the right thing. Yeah, right. Most people are conformist wimps, and they just bow down to the social pressure of the moment, and they do the most evil things. And communist rulers, they know that. They know that if you just get people to be atheists and tell them that humans aren't really, you know, created in the image of God, they're just talking primates, then there's no reason to be nice or fair or reasonable to them. And once your metaphysics get screwed up like that, anything goes, including cannibalism. And I will make a prediction that the amount of cannibalism in this country, it has increased dramatically in the near future. And some people don't understand why I'm saying that, but the people who actually read the current events, they will know why I say that. I'm very sad to be saying that, but you don't even understand what's going on, and I'm just letting you know. If you search other video channels, you will find what is going on. You'll understand why I said that, and it's very sad. So anyways, I hope the population will realize, you know, if you don't have these basic fundamental ethics, then anything goes, and the ruler is going to want slavery, okay? And that's what's being pushed for, and that's what's the trend. And I hope we don't go into slavery.